Welcome to another evidence recording session. 22:45, this day, date and time.
Things were going to be improving from now on. That authority still isn't there, is it? Well, this was supposed to be.
Okay, it gets worse. So, Rachel, how are you today? Sorry?
Fine.
What's the date today?
8th.
The 8th, and we are getting evicted on the 11th.
Yeah.
So, do you have everything sorted out?
Alright, yeah.
Yeah?
Somebody has to.
Van,
Yeah.
payments. Rachel, is my name on the new contract?
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously I've got to ask you pre-hand.
Mm-hmm.
Have you allowed anybody to go into the flat?
No.
Mess with the heating?
No.
Put anything in the loft?
No.
Any kind of nefarious activity?
No.
Okay. So, first and foremost, I just want to get into Rachel's new phone. Rachel,
cover it up now.
yeah, I'm not going to show it. Put my, Obviously, Rachel doesn't want me to show her phone number, so I won't.
Or my card number if that's on there.
So, Rachel has purchased a new smartphone. And the consultant was Zara. How much did you pay for this, Rachel?
40 quid.
40 quid.
Oh, 45 credit.
And have you had any problems with it?
No. That's why you're covering the phone number off.
Have you got the phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
don't
so...
switch it on.
So, Rachel, have you had this phone on since you come here? Since
No.
you brought it into the house?
No.
It's a smartphone, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a cheap one.
Yeah. Just a basic one for me to get used to it.
And it's not been on ever since you put it in the house? You've not allowed anybody to provide an illegal bridge
No.
into it? Right, okay.
It's
Rachel,
only been on in the house if you've asked me to switch it on.
yeah. Have you got my phone?
Hold on.
Just pass it. Okay. Right. Today we purchased a new computer.
Yeah.
Why did we have to do that again?
Because it broke this morning.
Where did it break? What had somebody done?
Well, the mouse wasn't working. And then
Yeah.
I tried to fix it and then it didn't work at all.
Basically, they changed the password to lock me out of the BIOS. Whether you want to call that a blessing in disguise, I don't know.
Not really, it's just cost me 200 quid, no.
Well, it hasn't cost you
It's cost
to...
me 50 quid.
Right, okay, let's get the
That's
facts
a lot.
right. Right. So, again, because of hackers, and yet again because of this government and the police who refuse to deal with the situation, it's costing Rachel mounting fulls every time that they keep doing what they're doing. They're wrecking hard drives, they're changing passwords, they're hiding private servers in the computer, and I mean, it just gets horrendous. Not even biography pages will have the courage to show their own ink, if that makes any sense, for when the time comes. So, Rachel, you had some money paid in today.
Yeah.
Who was that from?
Your mother,
And do you just want to say a name?
Sharon Barrow.
Okay, did it have it on the receipt?
Mm-hmm.
Sharon Barron. Did it say which branch it was paid in at?
Mm-hmm.
Just says there was a deposit of
£200.
£200. Okay. So, as you can see here, my mother's lent me some money. Now, you're thinking to yourself, considering the evidence you know so far, in regards to what my mother's done, if my mother was sitting right here, right now, there's the bank details for me to pay her back. If she was sitting here, right now, it would be war, wouldn't it? It would. But unfortunately, because I am in an unbelievable desperado situation, I've had to bite my tongue like you wouldn't believe. If she thinks I'm going to forget about what happened 8 years ago, she's got another thing coming. She really has. She really has. And they all have. Everybody has. And to show you how bad and horrendous this situation is, they still believe somehow, some way, they're going to be able to cover what they got themselves involved in. This is how horrendous this is. So I had to bite my tongue today, but I was so desperate, more than I've ever desperate. I've ever been, never been so, because I have a lot of pride about me, obviously, but I've never been so desperate ever, because I know that the locking off of that BIOS has left me without a computer, and if I can't get my evidence uploaded, then this head of state, and it is her, will pursue this criminal agenda against me when we know fine well who's been doing what. And I'll probably end up losing my life. Still, after all this time, no matter how much evidence I put forward. So I've had to desperately ask her for money. So she was kind enough to do that.
Wonder why.
But but I was like on the phone seconds, and she was shouting at me already. Rachel, if you could just press play, please.
Is that the top one or the middle one?
The middle one.
Someone tries to find me. Is that bad?
Okay, so if you could just stop that.
Which one stop?
Yeah.
No, next one.
Okay, now, something very monumental happened today,
That
and
was such in the background, wasn't it? The tugboat man.
I deleted some text messages from my mother. But I did this on purpose to try and analyse government monitoring, and I was totally correct. Totally right. And this government fell for it. Now, when the time comes and this goes to court, you're going to see why government cabinet members done and said and tweeted what they did. Okay, it's all going to come into perfect alignment, and you're going to find out how and why. Because I'm trying to prove from an angle the hideous campaign about this complete lie about the whole thing. Now you can hear my mother is in an unbelievable angry state there. Now, I said to her, it's been 10 years. Well, actually, no, it's been 8 years. I think what I was referring to when I said 10 years is that this is how long this conspiracy has been going on, since 2008. It's now 2018. So I last saw her in 2010, the summer of 2010, and as you heard there, she said about me complaining, bringing the police.
That's
But
because she attacked you.
that's because she went to attack me with a pan.
No, she did attack you. She didn't go to
Right,
attack
right.
you.
But the point is, she's been covering all this time, and she refuses to tell me about the criminal campaign she took part in. She refuses to explain anything about me being sexually abused when I was a child. She doesn't want to go into these things because she knows. So she's been given that, Rachel, if you just pays attention. So you can tell there, she's tried to kind of sort of like preempt a conversation by screaming and shouting without any provocation or prompt.
So what did she answer the phone? She didn't want to speak to you.
So she's deliberately gone and done that, almost as if to create an excuse not to speak to me after 8 years. That's because, ladies and gentlemen, this government have gagged her, you could say, and have got her and are trying to get her to go along with a lie of what is forthcoming in the next few months. But I'm telling you all now, this is not going to work for the government. It's going to fail at the very first hurdle. Because you won't be able to get past any of this without my permission, without me condoning it, without me agreeing to absolutely any of it. Because it's just been proved to be one big lie. There's also technology the government don't want to tell you about, they don't want to share, they don't want to go into it because they know what it will lead to. It will have ramifications worldwide. But that's not my lookout fault. It's not my lookout fault they've gone round using tech. It sounds crazy at this stage, but believe you me, they've gone around cloning people. They've gone around doing apps, and believe you me, I'm not the clone. It's whoever they've been pissing around with, that they don't have no permission whatsoever. It sounds ridiculous at this stage, but other people are going to have to admit. They're going to have to admit what exactly is going on in regards to pop singers, in regards to all the other Cumberland hospitals and blah blah blah. You wouldn't believe some of the information that has got back to me, which is what's put me heavily seated in the position now where I can say and talk about these things quite freely. So she's put some money in, and I've had to buy a new computer. I said it was for transportation costs, and it is transportation costs, because the £200 that I've had to spend, Rachel couldn't afford that out of the transportation, so that money basically is going on the transportation costs, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't being deceitful or anything like that, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
So, Rachel, what do you make of that phone call from my mother,
Well,
in your opinion?
if she obviously wanted an argument, well, she wouldn't have screamed at you as soon as she answered the phone.
So you think she was fishing
She
for an
obviously
argument?
recognised your number from the way she answered your phone.
Yeah.
So why did she answer the phone? She
That-
didn't want to speak to you. Why did she answer the phone?
I think what's important, and I have you noticed, Rachel, she's been trying to contact, I've been contacting her, she's been contacting me back over the past few months.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, but have you noticed she's been very sweet and nice over the phone, and yet all of a sudden now,
When Satch's in the background.
yeah, but all of a sudden now, she's ripped raw.
Yeah, and when Satch's in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know why, ladies and gents? It's because the government agenda has changed, you see, and they think they're going to pursue what they was going to pursue originally. But I've been deliberately toying with this situation and waiting for the right moment to show what my mother,
Did you see that?
what my mother is doing, what my mother has done, and what this government is trying foolishly to pull off. Would you believe? So. Yet again, we've got this scenario where it's all still unanswered. I mean, I know the particulars and this all what's happened to me back to front, but we've still got my family in this state of denial, haven't we? State of denial, state of absolute, complete, oblivious. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, if you think that's natural, that I haven't spoke to her in 8 years, then.
I spoke to mine in 10.
Yeah, exactly, and that's because they've been carrying the heavy consciousness all this time. They basically, ladies